नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं हूं साहिल नायर, an HR expert who loves figuring out what's going on in the space between your ears. लोग मुझे अक्सर कहते हैं, आपके इस बात का क्या मतलब? And I always tell them, don't answer the question almost immediately. Pause and reflect on the question behind the question. अब आप पूछेंगे इसका क्या मतलब, और मैं बस 2 लाइनों में कहूंगा, कुछ बातों का मतलब, कुछ मतलब की बातें. क्या मतलब? Sure. Today we're going to talk about something very different. And this very different is a line that I live my life by. And the line is, you really get what you got when others get what you got. Almost like a tongue twister, but I'll say it one more time. You really get what you got when others get what you got. As a child, I had this urge to grow up really, really fast. I wanted my first bike, my first car, my first international holiday, my first home, and the bucket list kept on growing with every passing year. The Josh was fueled by the passion to earn them on my own accord. It just gave me a high like nothing else could. Before I could fathom, it became a pattern. My life was hooked onto the chase, a chase that took me places, yet I never arrived. The moment I got something, I did not want it anymore. And then one day, on one of my Sunday Royal Enfield bike rides, I encountered a young teenager who was selling chai at a small stall along the highway. His tea stall was very interesting as he had pictures of Royal Enfield bikes on the brick walls. As I sipped on my tea, I could see him ogling at my bike with the corner of his eyes. I asked him if he wanted to take a quick spin. A firm, resounding yes, and off he was in a jiffy. As I jumped over to see him speed away, a few moments later, the bike skidded and he was on the tarmac. I ran over 100 meters to pick him up, and we took care of the first aid as I watched tears roll down his eyes. He got away with minor bruises, but he was crying for the damage to the petrol tank, which he felt responsible and guilty for. He did his bit. He called his friends who were mechanics and fixed the bike for me. A few hours later, as I was getting ready to leave his tea stall after the bike was fixed, he said, "Bhaiya, I cannot give you the bike you brought to me, but you have made my dream come true. Now that I have ridden a Royal Enfield, I will own it too one day." My ride back home was a series of flashbacks and a sense of peace as I reflected on the events of the day. How a simple, regular pit stop for cutting chai could be a life-altering moment for someone. He rode his dream bike and in that moment made a promise to himself to chase his dream of owning it someday. And as the journey of chasing our dreams continues, let's not forget that it's always a catch-22 moment. While it can be a vicious circle, if balanced judicially, each one of us can give purpose to our lives.